Hello, everybody in wherever land. Kurt Murphy here from Custom Audio Mutation. Really cool, interesting, weird amp that I have. Hey, I don't get a lot of oranges in here, so yeah, this is an interesting beast. This is literally a 1972 ORS-120, I believe. From my research on the interwebs, it could just be an OR120. It has that FAC control, which clips in a whole bunch of different capacitors, like a decade box, to create different shelving points in the low end. Treble control, bass control, presence control, and master volume control with an echo loop here, and two inputs. And this came in non-functioning condition. Apparently, I think maybe sitting in a basement for about 30 years, not getting used. Finally, it was going to get thrown away. And a neighbor of a guy who played guitar, hey, is this thing what is this? It's garbage. So he bought it from the neighbor, brought it to me to make run again. And here it is. It's an interesting piece of gear. One preamp tube and a cathodic phase inverter. So even though it's got 4 EL34s in it, it doesn't get loud before it starts to compress and freak out in that cathodic, which is one of the reasons why the long tail pair is so popular. Everything at high noon, and the FAQ at the fattest position, and as we so you can see as you rotate it back to its zero position, the low end comes back into the picture as you engage more of those capacitors, or the different capacitors. You start to shelve off more and more of the low. So your transistor radio. The presence control almost acts kind of like a gain control. And obviously, single coils and way crazy fucking loud high end. Woo! So you can hear all that crazy cathodic compression and distortion happening in this circuit. Not my favorite, but it is cool for its own kind of thing. And now, hey. So obviously that's the shield to keep the neon lights out of it. I've turned down the volume because of the volume. You can hear all the noise interference. So this little guy came in just leaking and bleeding everywhere. I'm actually going to power it down so I don't get hurt. So the first things, I recapped the 100 microfarads with F&Ts, and then recapped the other filter stages, recapped the bias supply with Nichicon. So these are all F&Ts, the black ones, and then these two blue guys are F&Ts. And then recapped the cathodes of the V1. This amp only has 3 stages before it hits the preamp stage. And it's, you know, it's interesting. Other than that, everything else, all the other capacitors, diodes, resistors, everything measured well within spec. So I left it all original. Obviously had to clean all the pots, years and years of sitting and rotting and whatnot, but the treble pot could not be saved. So put in a new alpha 1 meg audio, and she's back from the dead. I mean, it took, you know, 6-7 hours of goofing around, lifting the PCB, undoing a bunch of connections to get in there and, you know, get this thing running. But that's as close to, I think, the beginning of the Orange as I've ever seen. So again, from the schematics, this amp, this is an ORS120 or an OR120. Not 100% sure. Serial number 0A2263. I don't know what the hell any of that means, but that's the serial number on it, and very, very interesting amp. Very interesting. Anyway, I just figured it'd be cool. I don't get a lot of Oranges, and then having something, you know, totes malotes vintage like this. Gonna see if I can get replacement knobs from Orange, but you know, we'll see what they have to say. Yeah, so that's it.